Before this war's over, I'm going to kill you.
I'm offering this money as a reward on your head. Dead or alive, it doesn't matter.
It's not 100. Cheeky fellow.
They just don't make action heroes like Mel Gibson anymore.
Surprised you haven't heard about me. You know, I got a bad reputation. Sometimes I just go nuts like now.
And maybe that's for the best.
You shouldn't tempt me, man. Put it in your mouth.
Rowdy and rambunctious, yet talented and nuanced, and quite polarizing all the while. Mel was one of the most iconic stars in Hollywood until he lost everything. In 2010, after a series of drunken incidents, Mel lost his career, his family, and his reputation. But now it seems that Mel is re-entering the fold with some new films, and the same fierce attitude.
I'm hungry. I'm gonna go and get something to eat.
In fact, you won't believe what he claims to be cooking up. Today we're looking at the truth behind the most controversial actor of our age. What was the real cause behind all the controversies? What's the real reason Mel was blacklisted? And what is he up to today? Before we find out these answers, please give this video a thumbs up to help it circulate. And subscribe to our channel so we can keep bringing you more. Now you ready? Well, let's dig into the secret life of this brave heart and find out.
What happened?
Mel's controversies. To say that Mel Gibson is a complex figure is a bit of an understatement. With a list of controversies that's almost as long as the list of films he's been in. Mel has been embroiled in some serious controversies over the years. But was the media telling the whole truth? Mel's run-ins with the law go back decades. In 1984, he was banned from driving in Ontario, Canada for 3 months, after rear-ending a car when under the influence of alcohol. But his first catastrophic incident happened in 2006. He was pulled over for speeding with an open container of alcohol. Rather than complying, Mel exploded in a racist tirade upon his arrest. Then in 2010, his ex-girlfriend and the mother of his child leaked recordings of phone conversations between the two to the press. In them, Mel screams and belittles her and says quite a few unprintable things.
I need a woman. I don't need medication. You need a f***ing bat in the side of the head. How about that?
Now, few would deny how horrible this behavior really was.
I'll put you in a rose garden, you. You understand that? Because I'm capable of it.
And Mel Gibson himself has admitted this. But is Mel really as hateful as the media made him seem? Let's dig a bit deeper to find out. Mel's alcoholism. When Mel Gibson was 12, his Irish family moved to Australia. So, in a way, he was born to drink. And drink he did, from the age of 13 and for decades to come. With his rowdiness and his rugged good looks, Mel was born to be an action star. And it wasn't long until he was world famous for his roles in films like Mad Max, and of course the Lethal Weapon franchise. But despite his hard partying ways, there was more to Mel than met the eye. Alongside his rockstar blockbusters, he began to cultivate a reputation as a sensitive and nuanced dramatic actor, even landing the role of Hamlet in 1990.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
Now this side of Mel landed him many admirers and some close friends, like Jodie Foster. Yes, it seems there were two sides of Mel Gibson. He developed a reputation for being one of the most professional and punctual guys in the game, while also drinking 5 pints a day for breakfast. But as is usually the case with double lives, there was a catch. Mel's drinking began to bleed into his personal life more and more. And it wasn't long until his career was on the verge of total destruction. He revealed he had developed manic depressive tendencies. When things were going well, they were going really well. But when things went poorly, well, Mel also claimed his drinking problem is the ultimate cause of his outbursts. The 2006 incident was so embarrassing, he claimed it was a moment of temporary insanity. And he has claimed he has no hate in his heart for anybody.
It just happens, you know. Hey, look, it's 30 years I've been at this game, all right? And 30 years I've been in the public eye. And it's 30 years ago that I lost my own personal anonymity. And you can't get that back again.
But that was not good enough for Hollywood. While the industry continued to employ him for years and years, 2010 was the final straw. That's when Mel was finally and utterly blacklisted. The Sunken Place. It's not quite true that Mel was completely blacklisted. His kindness and professionalism had made him a few close friends over the years. There was one person willing to work with Mel, his old friend Jodie Foster. She stuck her neck out for Mel and cast him in her bizarre film, The Beaver. But that movie kinda flopped, and it seemed like it might be the end of the road for Mel's career.
I'm not going down that street again, Meredith. This man is a dead end. He's gone. He has to be.
Finally, a few years later, he got another chance. He was able to make the movie Hacksaw Ridge, which was nominated for a whole host of Oscars. But after this temporary high, he sank back into obscurity.
Maybe it's time I retired the coat.
He starred in B-list movies and even played Santa Claus in the film Fat Man. And by the way, Fat Man is actually kinda great. If you want to watch a violent but pretty good Christmas flick next season, give Fat Man a chance.
This is a one-time deal, gentlemen.
Mel's Christian Faith. 2004 was the year of the unlikeliest blockbuster I've ever heard of. An epic film about the last days of Jesus Christ. Yep, I'm talking about The Passion of the Christ. But Mel didn't just want to use Jesus for a popcorn flick. He was dedicated to making this film because of his personal Christian faith. And he kind of came under fire from many because it was, well, passionate.
Was there any sense
Everyone
of
was
it
throwing
being-
rocks. I mean, it was like, I was just ducking stuff, you know, the newspaper, they all pig piled on. And I was like, seriously persecuted.
But Mel's relationship with his faith is a lot different than your average Hollywood guy. He is, according to different sources, a member of a specific sect of Catholicism that rejects the sitting Pope. Although Mel claims to have no beef with the Pope. In fact, Mel founded his very own church on a mountain in Malibu dedicated to his beliefs. But Mel's views are a little more nuanced. In 2006, he gave an interview saying that anybody, even non-Christians, can enter heaven. Most importantly, Mel's faith has motivated him to finally quit drinking. Mel went to rehab after his 2010 controversy. So I'll say the downfall might have had something to do with it too. In 2020, he gave interviews claiming that for an entire decade he had been sober, and it appears he's been so ever since. But is sobriety enough to recover Mel's once incredible career? Or did he go too far to ever be welcomed back into the fold? Well, Mel claims he's got some pretty big projects on the stove.
You're working like crazy.
Yeah, but I'm not raising a sweat. I figure out how to do it and relax. Life's too short to get panicked about anything.
Come back. The 2014 directed Hacksaw Ridge was nominated for a slew of Academy Awards, Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, and many more. Then he lined up quite a few big roles for the coming years. He's set to star in the John Wick spin-off series, The Continental.
Winston, your brother stole something from me. If you don't, I'll bring the weight of this whole institution down on you both.
And he also claims he's going to put out a sequel to The Passion of the Christ.
Is it coming soon?
Yeah, sooner now.
This time, the movie would focus on the 3 days between Jesus' death and his resurrection, and would showcase Christ taking a quick dip into hell itself. He has written 2 scripts, one more traditional, and the other more like an acid trip.
2 scripts, and one of them is very structured and a very strong script, kind of more what you'd expect, and the other is like an acid trip.
Another claim of his is that he's going to direct Lethal Weapon 5. Because the director of the previous Lethal Weapons, Richard Donner, has since passed away. And Mel claims Richard told him he should be the guy to take the helm after he kicked the bucket. Mel Gibson tells us a lot about Hollywood's changing culture. Back in the day, all you heard about celebrities was what you read in the tabloids. And while that was mostly lies, at least you knew for sure it was lies. In today's day and age, we're privy to the most intimate moments of the most famous people. And when those moments are dark, that changes our perception of them. But like it or not, it's a new world. And only time will tell whether Mel Gibson ever fully recovers his career. And only you can judge whether he deserves it. So what do you think? Do you think Mel Gibson was so offensive that he should be written off? Or do you think he deserves a second chance? Who out there wants a sequel to The Passion? What about Lethal Weapon 5? Would you go see it? Finally, what is your all-time favorite Mel Gibson film? Get in the comments and tell me your thoughts. While you're there, tell me another actor who has a complicated history that we should cover next. Hey, before you go, click that thumbs up icon to show us some support. Subscribe to our channel and come back often so we can keep telling you